morning. Here we are again, the National Federation of the Blind Genesee County Chapter. Good morning, good morning. Well, if it's not morning where you are, how you doing? Okay. Well, I know we haven't been here for a minute. We missed you last month. I know I missed you guys. So I kind of give you a little update what's been going on. My regular sidekick is not here, and you got to peep over a little bit.
I'm here instead.
This is Jason, and he's the who are you? What do you do up here?
I'm the librarian for the Talking Book Center, and I send out books for people who are blind and print disabled.
That it?
And a lot of other things too. But
okay, I was just wondering. You smell like you're a little shy. I was trying to bring it out of you. Okay.
Okay, I'm also responsible for homebound and reference and genealogy and other library stuff.
There you go. No, he does a lot. Matter of fact, he's even helping. He's the one that's behind the camera that's doing this podcast every month. So I appreciate you, regardless of what anybody else says. Okay.
Then I'll just listen to what you said.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Well, let me see what's been going on with the Federation here in Genesee County. We had a great trip down in Lansing. We brought 2 bills. We got 2 sponsors to get the bills going. One was for blind people, blind people that want to adopt children. It's right now they can't do it. Matter of fact, it's even with if a family, if a husband and wife that are blind, they have a child, that there's a good chance that the state could take the child away from them, not unless they have a seeing person in vicinity or living with them. So we got that bill to go on the floor. We also advocated for prescription Bibles for the readers. So that's going on the floor. So we've been doing quite a bit of things. And that's another one of the things that the National Federation does. We advocate for a lot of things. We've also, here in Flint, Michigan, we got the Audible Crosswalks. We went down as a group to the City Hall and talked to the mayor. And 6 weeks later, not 6 months, but 6 weeks later, they went to Mott Foundation. They donated, I think, about $72,000. So the last week or 2 weeks ago, we have the first of several Audible talking crosswalks. So there's a lot of things that we do and a lot of things we continue to do. But now we have a special guest, Dr. Kowalski from the Special Needs Clinic, and that's in Saginaw, correct?
That's correct. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. So first of all, when I was asking about different services around here in Michigan, there are services, but there's not as many as I thought it was going to be, especially for the visually impaired and blind. And then I had to try to find them, and there's really not that. There used to be one here in Genesee, in Flint, but that one's gone. So I had to look around a little bit. Matter of fact, I had to call the Bureau for Services for Blind Persons, and that's how I got a hold of you. But we also work with them too, and we send a lot of our people to the Bureau in order to get services. So this is one of it's called the Special Needs Clinic in Saginaw, correct?
That is correct.
So could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
About myself or about the clinic?
No, I like to hear a little bit about yourself because somebody might be coming to see you.
Okay. I'm Dolores Kowalski. My married name is Meyer, but there's a lot of Dr. Meyers, so I go by Dr. Kowalski. I am the 7th of 10 kids. I grew up in a family where you only went to the doctor if you were spurting blood out of somewhere. And first eye exam until I was 24. And I couldn't see, and that should scare people. And so obviously it was near and dear to my heart to be able to help other people to be able to see. I was already working as a registered nurse, and I didn't realize people could see better than that. I went and had my screenings in school like everybody did, and stand in line with last name of Kowalski. There were a bunch in front of me, and they'd all get up there and say APEOTF. And by the time I got to the front of the line, I said APEOTF. I couldn't see it, but I'm not stupid. I read it. And so I always passed my screenings, and I didn't realize that I couldn't see. once I got my optometry degree, it was fun for a while to work with regular patients. But when I started working with visually impaired and legally blind persons, it caught my heart because there are folks that, but for not having the appropriate devices, might have the ability to maximize their vision. And those that can't, that don't have available vision, there are options for them as well. And we try and introduce them to that at the clinic too.
You know something,
So,
when I asked that question, you see, you just helped a lot of people. You don't even realize it. Matter of fact, I was one of those people too. I didn't know that I couldn't see because I thought it was normal. And there's a lot of people that's visually impaired at this moment we're talking that think they're seeing normal, but they're not, and have not been to an ophthalmologist to get an eye exam. So what you're saying there, it's enlightening people. Even with me, I was like that too. Uh, I remember going to a doctor when I was 8 years old. I was fortunate that my parents were able to take me, and they said I had a rare eye disease, but they couldn't accept it. And I was 20 years old until I was actually diagnosed. But I thought that I was just some clumsy kid tripping over stuff all the time. So,
right.
things like that, it helps out. So, are you visually impaired?
I am not. I am not. I'm fortunate to be fully sighted. However, I have a lot of near and dear friends that are visually impaired and some that are legally blind. And it's kind of the community that I've lived in since I've taken this job 30 years ago. And it's amazing how many people in our community do have a visual impairment, and folks aren't necessarily aware of that. So,
And you don't know until you're told. Then you say, "Wow, now I know. Now I know why I keep losing my car." Anyway, now, tell me a little bit about the clinic.
okay, the clinic is, like I said earlier, a 501(c)(3) nonprofit tax exempt agency. It is a private corporation. The reason I throw in all of that lingo is that means that we're tax exempt through the IRS, so donations are tax deductible. It was formed in 1982, so we've been around for over 40 years.
Mhm.
And we, in addition to seeing visually impaired and legally blind persons, we also work with mentally impaired and physically impaired persons that can't get a thorough eye exam in a regular setting.
So
And
excuse me, does your clinic offer eye exams? Are they free, or how do they set them up?
well, we do bill for our eye exams, and I would say upwards of 90% of my patient base is Medicaid eligible. So most people have third party payment. Those that do not, we're able to put in touch with the local Lions Club. Usually we'll underwrite the cost of that. But if there's no other means and the person qualifies for criterion of our clinic, meaning they're mentally or physically handicapped or visually impaired or legally blind, then we'll find a way.
All right, then. Okay, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to see if when people are listening, a lot of time they're looking. If this was a resource, well, hey, guess what? We just found out. So as you were saying about the clinic.
We, like I said, we will find resources. If we have somebody who's truly in need, I don't want someone to not be able to see because they don't have the funds to be able to do that. This seems somewhat cruel to me. Um, and thankfully, we have a lot of good people, Lions clubs from the area that support us and underwrite us. We get some funding through local United Ways and a lot of funding from local civic groups. And we try and use that as judiciously as we can to make sure that everybody who needs the service can get it.
So what all services do you offer?
We offer basic ocular health exams. We do low vision evaluations where we take a 2 hour slot and evaluate the vision and do what we can to maximize it using telescopic aids and microscopic aids and electronic devices to do so. And I honestly, it wasn't how it was intended initially, but I probably spend 25% of my time doing social work, trying to hook people up with the proper resources, how to get them to the doctor appointment that they haven't been going to, how to set them up with resources in the community to help them maintain their independence.
Okay, you were talking about some low vision. Do you guys have low vision aids? Do you train them on low vision aids, or do you set them up to get low vision aids? So I know that was three questions real quick, but let's.
We What we do is we do the evaluation, we show different devices, test what they're able to achieve through those devices, then we make our recommendations. We try and help find somebody to help fund those low vision aids. And yes, we do provide those to the patient. We do initial training here. We work in conjunction with Michigan Bureau of Services for Blind Persons. I am boycotting that name. It used to be the Commission for the Blind, which flowed so nicely. And so now I tell them I'm going to call them Michigan BS for blind people until they change their name.
Oh.
But
yes.
it's much of
I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
our clients to remember. That's hard. So I
Right.
still refer to them as the Commission for the Blind, but we're able to work closely with them in Michigan Rehab Services and the local school districts as well for some of our younger clients to further the training beyond the scope of what we do in our office.
Okay. What type of low vision equipment do you offer?
Oh, you name it, we have it. We start with spectacle prescription if that does any good, but most of the people by the time they get to us have exhausted that as an option. And that's one thing I want to point out. You mentioned about how you and I both had the circumstance where we didn't realize we could see. One of the bigger avenues for people is when the ophthalmologist tells them there's nothing more we can do to help you.
I've heard
And
that.
well, and a lot of people have. And that's misleading because there's nothing more they can do to make the eye better, but we can help them see better with what vision that they have. So as far as devices, we have, your half-eye reading glasses that we go through. We deal with a lot of variations on a handheld magnifier. We have some of the over-the-counter devices that will help.
Slow down a little bit so they can kind of just so they can see a little bit more. I'm excited too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what is it?
By Eschenbach, and it's called a max detail. This is for things up close, and it has an adjustment on it so that you can focus a little bit. And then there's one also called Max TV, which gives you some low power magnification for the television. Years ago, Coil Company, and I'm not paid by any of these companies, and you're going to find out soon because if I was, Coil Company had a device something like this, and it wasn't very good. Coil, you can sue me if you like. When Eschenbach came out with this device, I wasn't real ready to jump on board until I had one of my clients say, no, actually, that one's good. So I carry more stuff that my clients have told me is good. Engineers make a lot of stuff that, let's face it, it's junk and it doesn't help our low vision patients. They already have better ways to do it. And we're, trying to rework the wheel here. And, but that one is one that works. We also deal with, there, I think I got it in front, bioptic telescopes. These are the ones that for persons who are legally blind, if they have 20/200 vision or better through the spectacle part, and I can get them to 20/50 or better through the telescope,
Really?
you can actually drive in Michigan if you're legally blind and do it legally. And that should scare the hell out of you because it scares me. However, my patients, a lot of them drove into the parking lot without that and they couldn't see anything. So we want to keep everybody legal and safe, but it is legal in Michigan with a bioptic device if you can achieve the proper acuity to maintain.
That again, it's called a bioptic device.
Correct. It's a telescope.
Vision from 20 to 2000 to 20.
Your vision through a spectacle needs to be at least 20/200.
Right.
And then through a telescope, you need to be able to achieve 20/50.
Okay, so with that, someone that might not be able to drive because of their acuity, with that device, they might be able to drive now.
That is correct.
That now see that's helpful because I know a lot of low vision people that's had to give up their license because they couldn't because of that. So there's a device out there. So if anybody's listening, keep that in mind, and you know where to get a hold of them. That's the specialty vision clinic in Saginaw. We will be giving a phone number and everything so that you can get a hold of them and possibly even get to talk to Dr. Kowalski. So what else you got there for us?
Some of our patients do better with like a handheld magnifier. Since the advent of electronics, it used to be you'd have to use a closed circuit television and it was a great big thing that looked like a TV sitting on your desk. Now you can get a handheld one that folds up and goes into your pocket. And to give you an idea with this one, it's nice to have it in your hand because you can even like snap a photo with it. So if you're in a grocery store and you want to see something that's way up top on the shelf, you can put it up there and snap a picture of it and then bring it down to your eye level.
Oh, that is really neat.
But it's on there. You can take pictures of things and download them onto your computer with this. You can put them on here and then magnify them once they're on the screen, or minify them, change the size of it. And it gives you different versions of black on white and white on black. Because some people can see better with the white on black, so you can flip through the different options that it has. There are a lot of things available technology-wise that weren't there even 10 years ago that just really make it easier for somebody to maintain their independence, because this you can tuck in your pocket. You couldn't take the big pad on the.
Let me ask you now, are those out of pocket, or do you help with those too?
Well, these are out of pocket. However, it depends on what your needs are. For somebody that is under 55 years old, that is in the age for employment, that wants to work outside the home, Michigan Bureau of Services for Blind Persons has a vocational rehabilitation department that will help you secure employment. They will provide these types of devices for you to help you get into that position and to maintain your, if you're in a job and you're having vision's getting poor, you can contact them. It's what they call job in jeopardy. They will come in and run interference between yourself and your management. They will send you in to us and have an eye exam and see what devices we can give you that might help you maintain a level of productivity at your job so that you can keep that job secure. So there's a lot of options. Sometimes Lions clubs will help out with something like that. Sometimes people that have them will lose their vision or sadly pass away, and families will donate stuff into us. I keep that, and when somebody comes by that can use it, I pass it along.
So, what about for people over 55?
The people over 55, they have a senior blind division at MBSBP. However, it's a little more limited in what's available, but they do have some devices that are available, and they do sometimes provide those sorts of things. They have support groups that they have initiated in the communities that you can go to and talk to them about those things. I have actually attended some of those and done demonstrations. So people can try some of the devices and look at them.
Well, I'm impressed about a lot of those, especially that one that you just showed there, that small one, the portable one, because I've got the CV, what is it called?
CCTV.
The CCTV. I've got one of those, and I was just looking at that with a lot with envy, I would say. And I think, as a matter of fact, there's quite a few people that's in the Federation now in our chapter that could use a lot of that equipment because of the different stages of blindness. We've got some that's just starting to lose their vision, and then we have some that's totally blind. So I can see a lot. I'm going to have to really make sure they see this podcast because this has really been helpful. So what else do you? I know you said you do social work and you do I
do social work. I say that tongue in cheek, but I am not a licensed social worker, and I am not working outside the scope of my practice. However, what I mean by that is that sometimes I have to run interference with the schools. We have somebody that's a student at school and they need some help. Say they're in a gym class and they need protective eyewear to be able to participate in their gym class without jeopardizing the safety of their usable vision that they still have left. Sometimes I have someone that is doing poorly in school, but it turns out that has nothing to do with their visual needs. It's that they can't get a bus service to cross a county line, and you have to work with them on how they might go about getting transportation to and from school, or how they might be able to sign up for online classes versus having to transport themselves. A lot of times it's just letting people know what services are available to them, be it Meals on Wheels or whatnot. And one thing, before I forget, I want to throw this in, because a lot of what I do has to do with being an eye doctor, and then a lot of what I do just has to do with cool stuff I've come across.
Yeah.
And one of the neat things that I've seen is most everybody at this point has kind of gotten around to getting a cell phone. and hopefully most have a smartphone. And there is an app called Be My Eyes. And if you're not familiar with it, you should be. And it's not just for visually impaired people to sign up. It's a nice way for other people to very simply help out their community without having to offer much effort. And the Be My Eyes program is just, say, Leo, if you are trying to pick out a shirt and you're not sure what tie is going to match that shirt because you can't really see the colors, you click on the Eyes app and they get a sighted person and you show them on your camera the shirt and the tie and the person says, yeah, that one matches.
Now,
And
is there a charge for this?
there is not. There is not. You
Free?
just, it's free. Yeah.
Okay.
And for iPhones and iPads, and it's also available for Android devices. And it's absolutely free. And it's absolutely free for anyone to volunteer their time on it. And what'll happen is, I have it on my phone and it'll buzz and it comes up and it's just a visually impaired person. And they say, I'm trying to read this medication. I can't tell what it is. And they put it in front of the camera and I read it to them and we're done.
Oh, wow. And it's called Be My Eyes, correct?
Eyes, BEMYEYES, Be My Eyes. And it is a wonderful service and it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need somebody to look at something for you or read something for you or tell you something that you can't quite see, you use it. It was developed by a furniture maker in Denmark. And he thought of it in 2012 and had the app up and running in 2015, and it's been going ever since. And it's a neat thing to look into. So again, that's one of the things where I don't know it because I'm an eye doctor. I just learned it from people that I've come across and share. I try and share the things that are useful, and I try and get rid of the things that are not. Like, remember when they came out with those giant TV screen magnifiers?
Yes.
Those things are awful. And I have one in my office because I pull it out and show people when they say, well, I was going to get one of those giant TV magnifiers. And I tell them, oh, here, take this one. It's garbage. And look at it before you even take it because you don't want this at your house. But they need to see it to save themselves some money because otherwise they're buying this stuff that's no good. So when I have clients that tell me, oh, I got that, it's no good. I tell them, do you use it? They say, no. I said, bring it in. That way I can prove to everybody it's no good without them having to buy it. So sometimes it's those things that we do. It's not just doing eye exams or showing people devices. Sometimes it's steering them away from the charlatans that are more than happy to take your money.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of devices out there too. They look like they really work, and it's promising. As a matter of fact, the person that's selling it, he makes it look good, but then when you get it home, it's nothing but trash. When I keep thinking about the name of your clinic, and and I can really, you really are showing me about the name Special Needs. And you're going over a whole lot of things that I'm not familiar with. And I'm thinking because of what I do and the people I'm around, I think this is going to be so helpful. You might get swamped after this, okay? You say, are you a surgeon?
No, I am an optometrist.
Okay.
When I first got out of high school, I went to college and became a registered nurse. And when I decided that my feet couldn't take that till retirement, I went back to and became an optometrist. An optometrist is a doctorate degree, but our doctorate is specifically in eyes. I do not do surgery. I can prescribe medications for diseases. I can diagnose diseases. I can treat anterior segment diseases, but anything that needs surgery or something more specific, I will refer them on to an ophthalmologist.
Okay.
An ophthalmologist is a medical doctor that goes on to specialize in eyes.
Yeah,
So
I was going to ask you if you could, give us the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist. And
$1,000 a year.
a lot of people they think they're the same, but I tell them no, it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
And an optometrist is a good starting place, but sometimes if you need more intensive care, being surgery or posterior segment treatment, then we refer you on to the appropriate doctors.
Okay. So you guys do, is it this you or is it the entire clinic that operates like you do?
I have a secretary and I train an intern from the College of Optometry, and we are the clinic.
But
I
what,
exist. I do the tech support. I plumb the toilets. I shovel the sidewalk. Nonprofit like all others.
you,
While you hear that many have fallen by the wayside, we're staying afloat. But I'll tell you, it's a hell of a dog paddle to keep it there.
you know something, you sound like you really enjoy what you're doing.
Oh, I do. You have to. This is a job where uh, it can depress you if you let it. There's a lot of sad stories that I see,
Yeah.
but you got to look at it from the side of we can help people too, and that's a blessing to be able to do that. You know, a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and I have a lot of good folks, being the Lions Club and folks in the community that support this clinic and make it able for me to do really good things for folks.
How big,
And
how big is your clinic?
pardon.
How big is the clinic?
We have 2 exam rooms, a conference room, a reception area, a dispensary where you pick out glasses, and a waiting area, you know.
Okay, so you have a place. So do you guys make your glasses on site, or are they sent out? And do you do specialized glasses there too?
Okay, we prescribe specialized glasses and dispense them, like this telescope that I had showed you earlier. These are made in New York.
Okay.
No, locally. They're made in, well, it was Ronkonkoma, New York. I can't remember the Bohemia now, I think is the town that they moved to. We, like I had alluded to earlier, many of our patients are Medicaid eligible. So if you're getting glasses through Medicaid, you're required to use their lab in Youngstown, Ohio. But anybody who doesn't believe in God, I'm in Post. We're a Saginaw address, but I'm located in Bridgeport inside the Millet Learning Center. And God opened up an optical lab a mile down the road from me. How that happened,
Before I
I don't.
forget, you said you're in Bridgeport?
Correct.
Give me your
It's a,
address.
but we're in Bridgeport.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
We are a Saginaw mailing address, but we're actually located in Bridgeport.
The clinic.
The clinic, yes.
What's the address to the clinic, or do we need to just go to the Saginaw?
The address is 3660 Southfield Drive, and that's 48601. We're on the corner of Southfield and Williamson.
Okay, you know,
We're
because
turning.
I was thinking that you were in Saginaw.
Well, we are. We're considered Saginaw as far as the postal service is.
Okay, all right. That's all right. It's kind of like, somebody saying Flint Township and they get confused.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Okay, so anyway, so so it's a pretty are you busy a lot, or do you have any? Have you noticed? I guess what I'm wondering is there anything that you really specialize in? Like I've got an RP. Other people have something else. Or anything that y'all specialize in?
you name it, we do it. um, why I say it that way is ophthalmology, you get more of the specialty as far as you have RP, so you go see a retinal specialist. Somebody that has a corneal dystrophy would go to an anterior segment specialist.
Okay.
What I do, I tell my patients, while I do eye exams and check ocular health, when they come to me for low vision, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not dealing with their ocular health. I don't care if you have RP or macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. The only thing that helps me know is how long has this been going on and what's your prognosis and what type of devices might help. But what I'm doing in a low vision exam is taking the usable vision that you have and maximizing it. So what the cause of the low vision isn't as crucial as, okay, how much vision do you have and what can I do to make it better? An example of that is if you have macular degeneration, you have spots in the macula that are bad. So if I give you magnification, I put the picture on a bigger part of your retina and hopefully on a healthier part of your retina so you can see. If you have an optic neuritis or an optic nerve disease, it doesn't matter how big I make that picture. It's not going to get the bang for your buck that magnification does with the others. So maybe we need to go to an audio type thing where we do text to speech, that sort of thing. So while your diagnosis is important for me deciding what devices work, it's still the same premise. I want to take what you have and make that better.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Because you work with and actually you work with the whole person. You're not trying. You dealing with it. You already have a diagnosis. So what you're doing is you're helping that person to maintain or either get a little seat better.
Exactly. Exactly. And what we're trying to do is keep people as independent as they can possibly be for as long as they can possibly be.
And that's part of the federation. Our federation's philosophy is to make that person a better person, let them know they can be what they want to be. You see, I'm really glad that I got in contact with you, because you've given a whole lot of information. There are people out there that really need your help. I'm thinking of two people right now that would love to come up there and see some of the equipment. The only other places that we really know about now is down in Ann Arbor at the Kellogg Center, but it really takes a long time to get an appointment, and I believe you're a lot closer than Kellogg's. And I hate to say this, but I'm not putting Ann Arbor down, but you're a lot more fun.
Well, like I said, I am a nonprofit agency, and that makes it easier for me to be a lot more fun because I have
Okay.
working behind me to help keep the doors open. In Ann Arbor, the only thing that they're keeping the doors open with, in addition to governmental grants, which are huge, is the fees that they draw in from the services. And so they can't take as much time as we do with each of our patients. But one thing that I would tell you is if you have a large group of people that are wanting to see things, right now it's tough because I don't have an intern at this particular time, but usually I have an intern, and sometimes we take the mountain to Muhammad. If you have a group that's meeting, sometimes we set up where we bring some of our stuff and let people take a look at it and see what's going on, just to get an idea of what's out there and what's available.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever have the time for it, you have my phone, I would really appreciate, because we could have you come to one of our meetings. It's the third Thursday of every month. I'm not trying to lock you in or anything, but if you have the time.
I'm laughing because the third Thursday of every month is our board meeting. Our board meeting is the third Thursday of every month. But some down the road, we'll work something out, Leo.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to tell us about your clinic?
Just that we work with more than just visually impaired and legally blind. We also work with mentally and physically handicapped persons. So if you know anybody that has, say, Tourette's or Down syndrome or spina bifida or any other of a number of afflictions that might prevent them from getting an eye exam at a regular eye doctor's office, don't hesitate to pass our information along to them as well. It's something that we don't spend what few nickels we have on advertising, and we count on our community to do that for us. So
Tell you what, give us your name of your clinic, your phone number, and it's going to be here, and we're going to make sure it's running across the bottom of the screen. It's going to be on our webpage, and so we're going to do something to help you. Okay.
that's awesome. Thank you. Our clinic is the Special Needs Vision Clinic. We are at 3660 Southfield Drive in Saginaw, 48601 on the corner of Southfield and Williamson. We're located in the Millet Learning Center, which is a school for handicapped children, but we're a separate entity from the school. And our phone number is 989-777-1040. You'll end up talking to Ashley. She's our secretary. We're in the office Monday through Thursday generally. Every once in a while, we'll have a speaking engagement or something going on where we're out of the office, so do call ahead. But generally, we're here Monday through Thursday.
Well, I didn't have to ask that many questions. You covered a whole lot of things. This was easy for me.
Well, you made it easy for me as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. I really do. I mean, there was tons of information. I learned a little bit. I might be making an appointment to come up there to check out some of the visual aids because I can certainly use them. But like I said, I thank you again, Doctor. And You sure you're not any kin to Killer Kowalski or anything? Your husband?
Um, well, my husband is a Meyer. He probably would call me Killer Kowalski.
Yeah, it was a real famous professional wrestler. He really was. He's
I know
trained
where-
he's trained a lot of wrestlers in today's in today's arena. So that's why I had to ask, okay.
I'm famous side of the family. Sorry.
Right then. Well, again, I thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And like I said, we're gonna get this out there. So we try to help you. We try to help each other, okay?
All right. It sounds good.
Thank you again, and you have a great day.
You too. And thank you too, Jason.
Thank you.
All
Have a good-
right.
Did you want to answer anything before she?
My only question is, I guess, is what test do you think is the most interesting? Because I love getting my eyes checked and I love seeing all the weird things going on in my eyeballs. And so do you have a favorite test or a most interesting test?
I think the thing that was the most interesting for me right from the get-go is when we look at your eyes behind a slit lamp, which is a really high-powered microscope. And if you look at your iris, it looks like a sponge. It's the coolest thing. And if you turn the magnification up really high and you look at the vessels and the whites of your eyes, you can actually see individual red blood cells pulsing through the vessels. And to me, that was cool.
That's
Every-
cool.
But to me, that was like, wow.
I like that my own self.
Yeah.
Well, that it.
That's it.
All right, then. So we're looking forward to seeing you, and maybe one of the meetings. You come down and bring some equipment. And again, I say thank you again.
All right, back to work.
I hope everybody enjoyed this meeting today. And for some reason, my tongue is getting caught up. I guess getting in front of my eye tooth. I can't see what I'm saying, but I'm gonna be all right though. Again, we just like to thank the Vision Specialty Clinic in Saginaw. We'd like to thank Dr. Kowalski for being here. Also, my very quiet sidekick.
It's true, I am.
But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have our meeting the third Thursday of this month. Make sure that you push that like button or any comments that you might have. We've got a state conference in November. We'll be meeting in Dearborn. We'll be down there for 3 days. I think it's the 10th, 11th, and the 12th. Like I said, we went over some things with the Federation. We did the crim race. We had two guys that finished really good. I finished it. Our president, she finished. She was determined to make those 3.1 miles.
With a fresh surgery on her foot.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And bad knees and everything, but she was determined. And she was the last one. The police asked her, could we help you to go? She said, nope. They said, can you ride in a wheelchair? She said, nope. She said, what if your grandson put you in a walker and push you? She said, no. And she made it with a police escort.
Not too shabby.
So she was determined to do it. And that's the determination that we try to put in everybody else that has low vision or blind. The Federation, we advocate for you for anything. If you have any needs that you might have or any problem that you have, when you become part of the Federation, you're part of the family. We're here to help. We try to let you know that you can be that person that you want to be. So we just want to thank you again. And the only thing I can say, we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.